This would be a walkaround of a 9520 with an 1810E full scraper on it. We got cider range in. Here's a dipstick recovery tank for coolant, which the lid is off for some reason. This is your engine oil fill tube. There we got a starter fuel filter assembly. And behind this panel, you see the fan. Here we've got our radiator. That is our air-to-air intercooler for the turbo. Up here we got our transmission cooler. And in front of that, actually this one's probably our hydraulic, and then this one up here in front is our transmission. Here we got a lube chart. Tires. These 9520s have, I believe, 4,000 pounds of wheel weights on the front axle. Fuel tank. There's one on the other side, the same size. I believe they hold right around 250 gallons. And here's our articulation. Just steering cylinders, transmission fill tube. Down here we got a sight glass for the transmission oil level, drive line, the back differential. No weights on the back axle. Obviously you wouldn't need them to get your scraper can loaded. There's plenty of weight on the back. These tractors have 4 remotes. We can only run 2 cans on them. They're quick couplers. You would just slide these collars back, put your hose in, and they pop back out and you're hooked up. These tractors do have Lincoln auto lube systems on them. Down here we got our John Deere quick hitch system. To unhook or hook up this machine, you would remove this linch pin, pull this pin out, and normally there would be a handle up here. This one's missing, so you got to use bare vice grips. But you pull this up, this lock swings back out of the way and allows this hitch bar to come up out of the hooks there. It takes about 5 minutes to hook one of these up or unhook. There we got a backup alarm. This is the back of the cab. This would be one of our front scraper cans, so it's got 8. Well, actually, this is one of our back scraper cans, because these hoses are looped back into themselves. We don't use them. Here we got a manifold for our auto lube system. Here's the inside of a scraper can. Here we got our apron. Back there's our ejector. Cylinder right there picks the scraper up and lowers it. This cylinder opens and closes the apron. The apron and ejector on these scraper cans are on a circuit together. Apron opens up all the way, then the ejector comes forward. This here is a locking pin. You have to open the apron to get in there and change your cutting edges or whatever, you would stick that in this hole right here, prevent the apron from falling down on you. These have 4 tires on them. Underneath this cover in here is our ejector cylinder. This can has a push block on it. I believe that's the only one we have with a push block on it. Here's just the other side. Exhaust pre-cleaner. Here is our air cleaner, battery box. The other side, there's a fuel fill cap. The other side of the articulation. Here is the other side. Our engine. All of these tractors have a cable hanging underneath them that goes back to this articulation pin, or actually is hooked into the drawbar that goes to the back. That way you're not pulling the tractor in two. If you get one stuck, you're pulling the scraper instead of the tractor. Now we'll go up in the cab and take a look around in there. There's our steering wheel, clutch, brake, differential lock. This is our steering wheel tilt. Turn signals, button on the ends for the horn, high and low beam. Ignition switch is up there. There's a little monitor panel. This knob here will reduce your maximum RPMs down to, I believe, 1800. It's just a dial. You adjust it to set your maximum RPM wherever you want it. There's another monitor screen. Gives us all of our engine and transmission parameters. Lights, windshield wipers, heater, fan control, AC heat switch, temperature control, hazards, windshield washer for the rear window, I believe. Here we got a radio, beacon light switch, power mirror adjustment. Over here we got throttle, load counter. It's an automatic transmission feature. You can turn that on, set which gear you want your maximum gear to go to. Then once you pick up out of your cut, you just hit the resume switch. It'll automatically shift itself up to whatever gear you've selected. Here's your shifter. It's park. Down. Up here is reverse. So we'll advance the gears up, down. Here's forward, up, down. Back here you got your controls for your scraper. We generally run them with this being your front can up and down, this one being your front can, apron, and ejector, back can up and down, back can, apron, and ejector. This scraper does have the auto load feature on it. It's inside the console here. It gives you all your adjustments to set your digging depth to where you get that set. Then you would just, when you pull into your cut, you just take one of your switches here, your up and down switch, and just bump it all the way forward where it clicks, and it'll automatically set to your digging depth. Get your load, close your apron, and pick it up. With these, you can also, when you're done with your cut, click that forward. It will continue to close the apron after you let go of the switch. You can pull it all the way back and click it on that one, and it'll lift your scraper all the way up. They're just basically a detent. Once they get to a certain pressure, they kick out. It keeps you from having to try and keep your hand on all four fingers on all four switches and run them at the same time. You can just hit your detent. It'll do it itself. This seat and this tractor is not a standard tractor seat. It's been changed. So the switch, this switch here for your ride, this will air up or let air out of your seat, would normally be mounted in the armrest. It's not even on here anymore. Must have got broken off the other day, but over here we got a little buddy seat. You have somebody riding with you. Here you got your back window latch. Open up the back window if you need to. Helps when you're hooking up the scraper cans. You can hear each other a little bit better. And I think that's pretty much everything.